Okay. Well, I'm Amirah Hall. Welcome and good morning. Happy Friday to everybody who's going to join in, step in, be here live. I'm super excited because I'm doing this, and this is a big new step for me, coming into just being and speaking and showing up for you, because I know I'm feeling so many questions of people trying to figure out what their next step is. And I was there 25 years ago. I had a real cushy job in tech. I was living in Southern California. I was living the dream life. I had great family relationships. And honestly, I thought my career was so bright, future was so bright. I was wearing sunglasses, living on sunshine, wearing sunglasses. That was me. And I was making a great income, but there was something missing. Something was nudging me. And that's when I was inspired to take a spiritual pilgrimage to go to Egypt. And going to Egypt is where everything changed for me. Having a marvelous, mystical 2-week spiritual pilgrimage, then I had my near-death experience. Having the near-death experience is one story, but what happened was getting on the plane, coming back to the United States, sitting in JFK, or just getting off the airplane. Before I sat down, all I could see were walking paper dolls. And it was almost like I didn't want to be there. I thought, this is an evil, ugly, dark place. Grief and anger and despair. And it was a frequency, it was a vibration, it was so heavy. And I sat there trying to read my book. The book was upside down, got to Atlanta, and I'm still struggling with how I'm seeing everybody around me. And then it dawned on me that I too was living in the land of paper dolls. And I couldn't quite wrap my head around that, what that meant. So it's back in 1998, okay? We really didn't have an internet, so to speak, and I had no way of trying to figure out what the hell happened to me. So long journey short is that I went to a lot of different psychics. I went to a lot of different healers. I didn't dare go see a psychologist because back then I thought they'd lock me up and throw away the key. So I went from healer to healer in an area where I felt comfortable. I knew that somebody was going to maybe give me something out of the box, because whatever happened to me was out of the box. And I was just struggling, trying to find my new reality, and coming across this amazing healer that said to me, "Oh, that's easy." He said, "You've got stuck energy." And those 4 words changed my life forever. And I just was so deep in despair and anxiety and depression. I could not function. Everything fell apart for me. It fell apart faster than a wet tissue. And I was trying to piece together everything and hang on to it. So I thought. And so I know that there's a lot of people that have been reaching out to me. There's so many changes that people are going through. I can absolutely feel and resonate, recognize those symptoms, trying to piece it all together based on what we think we know. And yesterday, my guides gave us a message about manifesting. And so that's where we are today. So for 25 years now, I've been teaching people, mentoring clients, how to come into alignment with who they are, what they want, in order to be able to manifest. I got the information in my near-death experience. And quite honestly, over the last 25 years, I too have been practicing it and implementing it and really coming into integration with it. And these concepts they're not something that probably you haven't heard elsewhere, but, be aware. There are, just as my channeled message years ago in Egypt was, what's 2012 all about? 2012 is, my guides told me, imagine today you're a caterpillar and tomorrow you're a butterfly. Well, guess what? There will be many charlatans among you, is what they added to that. And it's so interesting that we see all around us people that are, jumping on that bandwagon, and everybody's got a formula, so to speak. So a lot of times people get in the track of thinking they know exactly what to do. So this is not about goal setting. What did the fake psychic say when she got the ability to see the future? I could profit off of this. And yeah, they are. That's all great. And I have nothing against that. The problem is, how much are people paying out for things that at the end of the day, it's just another tool or program that sits on the shelf, right? So my work has always been focused on creating a foundation, creating a structure that you can integrate. And one of the first things that I did a while back is created this, I hope you can see it. I got to get my screen. My ebook, it's called 6 Steps to Manifesting Anything That You Want. So my guides wanted me to go through those steps today with you and to really help you understand at a deeper level. Go ahead, and the link is in the description. You can go ahead and download that book. But the premise of that book, the premise that what I learned in the teachings from my near-death experience, and the process, the way the science works, is first we've got to get clear. You've heard about that, right? I know that The Secret, they talk about that. Getting clear. Well, that's wonderful. If you're thinking that it's in your head, okay? And what I'm going to suggest to you is that there's so much more to you. In my NDE, I too learned that I was energy and everything was energy. And guess what? I have an energetic field that's way beyond my thoughts, my conscious thoughts. So in the work I do and the process, we've got to clear out the baggage or the hidden energies that are depleting or distracting or deflating what it is that we want. I have so many people that come to me and they don't know what they want. They don't know what they want. I've been there. I can remember just moping around, trying to figure out, who I want to be when I grow up, and lost sense of who I am. When we have a death of a loved one, when there's a divorce or a separation, an end of a relationship, or career ends. We've had 3 years of incredible struggle and uncertainty of changes all around us. How do we navigate that, right? We've got to get clear. So I take you on a journey of clearing everything that is not you. So that's the cool part, is moving out the unconscious and the foreign energies that are competing with your own abilities to, number 2, visualize. Visualizing. Okay, I spelled it wrong. Trying to channel and get information and do this is not working. Okay, so visualizing, getting clear, but then having a clear picture, being able to see it. And more than that is being able to, as my guides explained to me earlier this week when I was talking about the manifesting, or trying to get more clear on the dynamics of the way things are shifting, it's about a presence of being in a vibration. So yes, we're visualizing, but it's literally about immersing ourselves in that frequency. But if you've got unconscious thoughts that are saying, oh, that's an impossibility, that'll never work, you're dreaming, then it will sabotage the manifestation. And the third thing is your ability to, I call, having this. It's your ability to have it. It's a level of believing. It's a level of knowing, trusting, and having that energetic frequency that just goes, yeah, I'm aligned with it. And so in the work I do, that's exactly what we want to do. We want to get so clear that that which we desire literally comes towards us. And so that sort of ties in with what I've been talking about, is feeling it. The fourth thing is, how do you connect with that desire that you want? If you're thinking of, let's say, a career change, or growing your business. You have to feel it and know it and be in it. But if you've got these second guessing yourself or doubts and wondering, how am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? That's not going to happen, right? And then number 5 is, you know, you got to take action. You can't just sit and dream about it and think about it and put pictures on the vision board and hope that something's going to come of it. And one day with magic, there's a, genie that's going to pop out of a bottle and grant you your wish. You've got to take action, but you can't take action into the future. When we worry about the future and wonder how we're going to get there, we literally leave present time. We've got to be present, working on the foundation, looking at the first steps that we need to take in order to implement it. And perhaps that's emptying a suitcase in the back of your closet, like I did yesterday. I moved here almost 2 years ago, and I had a suitcase of shawls and scarves, and I didn't use them all the time, so I just sort of left it tucked behind. But taking action with things that have been left undone gives us more energy and momentum towards attracting what we truly want. And the 6th thing, well, I screwed up. How's that? All along the way, I changed the numbers, okay? When you get the ebook, you'll see, is remove the blocks. All along the way, my suitcase in the back of the closet was removing something that has cluttered. It had been unfinished. It didn't give me clarity on maybe the shawls that I wanted to use. So I was challenged just to hang them up. That's it. I had the hangers. I just slid out the suitcase and I had 10 minutes and I hung them all up, and now I can see them and choose them. And so everything's in order now. And the colors I can match with my outfits and enjoy some of those beautiful shawls that I purchased when I was living in Dubai. So, and the final step, believe me, I said there were 6 steps, but there is one more. And that is your ability, having done the work, which is a vibration, is being able to receiving that which you desire. Because I can tell you that almost 95% of all of my clients and students over the years, we do this practice in doing the work and clearing. One of the questions is, what's your ability to have what you desire? And I have this little gauge that we use. I call it a havingness gauge. In my workbook for the reset, I call it a fuel gauge. So where are you at in your ability to have something today? That's a perfect little example. Looking at the gauge from 0 to 100 in your mind, how much can you have today? Can you have all your dreams? Can you have everything that you want? Can you have gratitude? How about that? From 0 to 100. So regardless of where it's at, all you have to simply do is take the needle and move it over to 100%. Now there's a little bit more, and in the work we do, oftentimes we discover that there's subconscious energies that's keeping that needle from going to 100%. And the same thing is true with our ability to receive. So we can have in our mind the dream, we think we're believing it, but there's an unconscious energy field that's blocking us from receiving it, materializing it, actualizing it, integrating it and internalizing it, and knowing it. So whether it's a tangible thing or whether it's a emotion or whether it's a way of being, how can we receive it? How can we express it? We have to clear the blocks. We have to step out of our own way, so to speak, or the unconscious energies that have been bombarding us our entire life. So that's what I got for you today. My guides want you to know, in order to receive, just know, all you have to do is allow. what they told me specifically was, you are a blessing. It's your time to receive. So I hope this message is somewhat clear for you. Please leave me your comments in the chat and share your questions. Come on, I will be live each weekday, same time. And I'm delighted to answer your questions or give you some insight to where you might have a block and what you're trying to create. This definitely has to do with us stepping into our power and our certainty and our knowing of who we are. What we've come here to do is to manifest and to come into alignment with what truly makes us happy. And in order to do that, we've got to clear the blocks. So as we clear the way to having more abundance in our life, we fulfill our purpose here, and we can be an inspiration to others and support. So I'll leave you with that. Have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week on my lives.